Welcome back to another edition of Music Monday. And this week, we're going to switch up the pace. The first 4 Music Mondays that I've done have all been choices that I've already heard. So now I am finally taking the time to get to your request. I only have 3 so far. So I guess we're just going to start off with the first one, which is Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse, sent in by my great friend Dakota Phillips. Now, if you didn't watch the first Music Monday, then I should tell you the whole reason I call this Music Monday, and partly even the reason that I may have ever had the idea, was because this is Dakota and I's birth child. When we used to, we still do send Voxes to each other, but when we first started Voxing each other, sending audio messages back and forth, we did this thing called Music Monday, where each week we would send in our music choice from each side. He'd pick one, I'd pick one, and then we would listen to each other's choice, and then we would end up reviewing it. So I kind of have to credit him. Like, he's the reason that this, Music Monday is where I got the title, and him and I just stopped doing it, so then I put it on YouTube. So it's kind of cool how my first one that I'm going to review is from Dakota. So Falling in Reverse, Popular Monster. I think I've only heard a few Falling in Reverse songs, and remind me if I'm wrong, but was this Ronnie Radke's old band? Or is this the band that Ronnie Radke joined at some point? Because I know that Ronnie Radke has been a part of 2 different bands, but I'm kind of forgetting the timeline. So anyways, we're going to get into this. I really don't know what to expect. I think, like I said, I've only listened to maybe 1 or 2 Falling in Reverse songs, but it's been a long time. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Let's just get into it. And my cat's tweaking. Hey! Hey, you need to be quiet. Filming a video. All right, here we go.
I wake up every morning with my head up in a daze. I'm not sure if I should say this, fuck, I'll say it anyway. Everybody tries to tell me that I'm going through a phase. I don't know if it's a phase, I just wanna feel okay. Yeah, I'm battling with depression, but the question still remains. Is this post-traumatic stress, or am I suppressing rage? And my doctor tries to tell me that I'm going through a phase. Yeah, it's not a fucking phase, I just wanna feel okay. Okay, yeah, I struggle with this bullshit every day. And it's probably...
Okay, hold on. Jesus Christ, can you guys hear my cat? He's tweaking out. Okay, I think I've heard this song because it's been played on the radio, like at work. Where I work, COC, we have a bunch of different radios in the household, and I usually turn it to 103.3 because I like laser, I like old school stuff. Shout out to my parents for raising me that way. But I'm pretty sure they've played this song on the radio, because now that I'm hearing the lyrics and everything, like now I'm like, okay, yeah, I've actually heard this before. I've heard it probably a handful of times on the radio. For some reason, I don't know why, whoever the singer is, that definitely doesn't sound like Ronnie Radke. I thought it was MGK. Like, when I first heard this song, I thought Machine Gun Kelly was like part of some new rock group, because I don't know why. The similarity between whoever the lead singer is, to me, kind of sounds like MGK. And it sounds plausible that it could be MGK, because MGK, with his last album that he released at the end of 2020, Tickets to My Downfall, he switched from rapping and he went over and did a completely 180 shift and did like pop punk. So it's believable to think that this could be MGK. But anyways, there's already some interesting context about battling with depression and struggling with things every day, and saying that, like, this isn't a phase, like, I just want to feel okay. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to see what happens next.
Because my demons simultaneously rage. It obliterates me. The sentence separates me. I'm about to break down. Searching for a way out. I'm a liar, I'm a cheater, I'm a nobody. I'm not a popular monster. Break down into all the now we're falling apart. I'm a popular monster. down is just a wall that I replace. I'm in a race against myself, I try to keep a steady pace. How the fuck will I escape if I never close my case? I gotta keep on stressing, every second that I waste is another second sooner.
This sounds like a blend between something rock oriented, but it also sounds like he's kind of rapping. So this is a very odd but somewhat pleasant mixture of different types of music. Like it seems like he's kind of spitting in some of these lines, or if you could say his verses, but then also there's breakdowns where like I haven't heard like too much of a scream from him, but I'm really enjoying how they've mixed those two elements together to make somewhat of a, I don't know, like a different sound. Like you don't really hear music like this every day, or at least I haven't heard anything like this in a long time.
To a blessing I won't take, but my therapist will tell me that I'm going through a stage. Yeah, it's not a fucking stage, I just wanna feel okay. Okay, motherfucker, now you got my attention. I need to change a couple things, cause something is missing. What if I was alive? Tell you everything is fine. Every single fucking day, I get closer to the grave. I have
Oh shit! What's going on? Damn! All right. Wow. Yeah, that was a surprisingly good song. It's actually got a lot of deep context, a lot of deep emotions from what this guy is feeling. And I love how the song is structured. It has like a really nice ebb and flow, and there's like some breakdowns in there at the point where he finally screams and breaks in, and it's really interesting. It like sets the pace for what a lot of people probably experience with mental health. And the one thing I thought about as I was like looking at the lyrics but listening to the song as well, is I felt like this immense sense of rage and anger and suppression, and just like it's like a boiling pot and that water's about ready to give way and come up, and you just gotta like let that shit explode. And only because I've been recently going through something that has made me like really fucking angry, it's kind of weird how this song comes in at a perfect time. I think, you know, a lot of people generally are like, they shun other people for if you show any sense of anger or madness or rage. But I think sometimes that emotion can really help motivate people to like, AKA, you know, get fitter, like tear apart your muscles in the gym, you know, get like a serious workout, go ride your bike. It can create beautiful fucking poetry in your journal. I honestly don't think it's a bad emotion. It's just you wouldn't want to be angry all the time for senseless reasons. But if you had something happen in your life that makes you angry, it makes you feel that way, I actually think it's one of the more underrated emotions. And, I've kind of noticed that lately with myself. I've been really angry at a particular situation. And that anger sort of, in some ways, is pleasurable. I know that sounds probably pretty weird to hear me say that, but I think for me personally, I've always been a person that more or less on the side of being a people pleaser. So I probably haven't always set concrete boundaries or like spoke my truth or really cracked down on people for being assholes. And sometimes you are validated to be fucking frustrated. And so what it sounds like with this guy is mainly just his mental health and just being frustrated that things are not getting better, and he gets to this point where he just breaks down. So, and that kind of relates to the title of being a popular monster. Well, monster, when we think of what a monster is, we think of something that's terrifying, something that you don't want to look at, something that should be outcasted or shunned upon. But then you put that word in front of it, popular monster. This also kind of, now that I'm thinking this way, it reminds me of Jordan Peterson. If you guys know who he is, he's a clinical psychologist from Canada, and he got really popular probably 4 or 5 years back. But one of the main things that he talks about in his books and on his YouTube channel, like all of his lectures, is this idea of like really honing in on your shadow, like the deeply subconscious things that us humans think that we're not capable of. And one example that he gives is, going back to Nazi Germany and how a lot of those soldiers, those German soldiers, were just, regular citizens like you or I. And then when Hitler started to rise to power and, was gaining people to get on his side, a lot of these people didn't step up and say anything. And that's why the weight of the Nazis and the negative influence that they had on the entire world got to a point where we obviously know what happened. They killed a bunch, millions of Jews. And so Jordan Peterson, has said, I try to envision myself as a soldier on the Nazi Germany side, or, I really try and get in touch with that deep, dark shadow that all of us humans have in us. Even if we've suppressed it our entire life, it's still there. So that's why I think, again, you don't want to be angry all the time for no reason or getting like just being short-tempered with people. But I think sometimes anger can motivate you in the right direction and change you as a result to not get fucked with again, especially if somebody crossed your path and did you dirty. That was a really good song. I really was feeling that, especially at the point where he broke down. And the instrumentals started to slap very heavily. So, yeah, great choice, Dakota. That was a perfect first reaction from somebody that sent in a suggestion. So, I'm excited to get to the next two because I know Shelly sent one in. I don't remember what the choice is, but I'll go look back and I'll review it. And then Ian sent one in on YouTube, so I'll go look at that as well. But either way, keep tuning in. It's been a fun journey. This will be probably the 5th one, so we're going every Monday. Don't forget, it's Music Monday, bros, girls, kids of all ages. All right, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.